How's it guys? RevitWiz here. Hope you're doing well. So welcome back to the YouTube channel. So today I'm just going to show you guys how to do a rebar coupler, as one of my subscribers asked in the comments to show him how to create this, and then also how to work with splicing in a varying rebar set when your slab has a certain slope edge. So how to create a splice within that. And then further in this video, I'll just show you the different types of splices that you can work with. So please stay tuned. Okay guys, let's open a new project. So we just go here, new, and then select the structural template provided by Revit, and we just say okay. And then we're going to just create our floor. So we go structure, floor, and structural floor. We'll say here line, and we draw in our own floor. So we do something like 30 meters and at an angle, and back again like that. And then we say finish edit mode. And I'm just going to hide this span symbol because we're not going to use it. EH on the keyboard, and then you can hide it. Now let's go and place our reinforcement. I'll click on the slab we've created. I go here to rebar, and I'll just say okay, so that it loads the preset shapecodes for us. I'm going to use the shapecode 21, H12 size bar. Then I'll say near cover face, parallel to cover, maximum spacing, and then 400 mils for this example. And then this varying rebar set is currently activated. I'm going to just deactivate it, and I'm going to show you what happens now. So if I hover here, you can see that the reinforcement does not snap to the edge of that angled slab. So if you go and click varying rebar set to activate it and you hover now, you can see that it then automatically snaps to the edge, and that is what we want to achieve. So then what I'll do is I'll just click the mouse button, and there you can see we've placed our reinforcement. So let's go and view it in the 3D. Just going to make that fine so we can see the bars better. So now you'll notice we haven't really placed it correctly because I want it at the top with the hooks facing down. So what I'll do is I'll click on the rebar. I'll just press spacebar on my keyboard until that hook on the right and the hook on the left faces downwards. Now let's go back to our level 2. We'll just put this on fine so we can see the rebar. And now what we want to do is we want to go and splice this. So I'll click on the reinforcement, I'll go splice rebar, and then either you can pick the line or you can do by length, where we specify the length. You can see it automatically creates the longest bar, which is 12 meters, and then it generates the splices for us. So before I click the mouse button, go here on the right properties side, say end-to-end splice. And then what that does is it just creates the splice face to face with each bar. The reason for that is we want to do the couplers. Okay, so you'll notice here on the right that those bars are a bit short, but that's okay for the exercise. So let's just say click the mouse button, and then you can see we've created those 3 splice elements. And I'm just going to say finish on the top there. Now you can see we have created our 4, call it rebar sets that have been spliced. You can see this A length is 12 meters, which is the length we set as the maximum length. So then let's go to our 3D view, and then I'll just zoom into the side. So what we want to do here is put in the coupler. So we'll say rebar coupler, and we will make sure we select the standard coupler, and the size needs to be H12 because our reinforcement that we've placed is H12. So otherwise the rebar coupler won't work. Then make sure place between 2 bars have been selected, so that when you click that side, the right hand side, and you click the left hand side bar, it's going to want to create the coupler, but it's going to tell us that we need to remove the splice. So all that just means is it's just opening the gap between the 2 reinforcement bars, as the coupler has been set with certain dimensions and parameters. So then we say remove splice, and there you can see we've created our coupler. Now if we go back to level 2, we can see that our coupler has been created here. Let's just put that on wireframe so you can see the coupler. There's our coupler. But let's say for these bars, I want to splice them by lap length and not by coupler. What I'll do is I'll click on the rebar and I'll go here to splice rebar. And then what I'll do is I'll click here, modify splices. Then I'll click on this specific splice line, go to the right hand side and say, okay, I want it maybe staggered. And then it will generate that staggered splice for us. And then what I'll do is I'll say finish. Now if I go to my 3D view, we have our normal splice bars with lap lengths. Then here we have our couplers, and this side we don't have anything yet, but we can also change that. Go to level 2, we click here, we go splice rebar, modify splices. I'll click on that center one. I'll make it just a normal 60D splice, just like that, and I'll say finish. There we go. Now we have 3 different splice methods in one slab. So this is obviously just for example purposes, to show you guys how it works. Let's quickly focus on the rebar coupler again. So if I click on this coupler and I go here, edit type, you can actually go and edit some of these dimensions. So I'm not too familiar with couplers. I assume there are set standards for couplers off the shelf, or you can create your own couplers. I'm not too sure. I don't use them very much as I do the normal splice length. So if you focus on the total length, you can change that length. So if I make that 100 and I say apply, you can see that the coupler length is extended. Now you can see there's a bar engagement 2 and a bar engagement 1. So you can increase those lengths. So what that means is the bars going into the coupler will become longer. So if I make that 35 and I say apply, you can see the bar engagement 2 goes further in. And if I make that one maybe 40, say apply, it also goes more inwards. Now you can see here bar size 1 and bar size 2 is both H12s. If I had to go and change it maybe to H16 and say apply, it's going to tell me it can't work because both these bars here are H12s. So just keep note of that. So I'm just going to change it back to H12 and say apply and OK. So if I click on this coupler, you can see the drop down menu has all these different types of couplers. Here are already couplers that has been modified to say I can use a H16 and a H12 transition. So if your bar on the left is maybe H16, so let's just change that one to H16. It actually automatically updates, which is great. So you can see it's automatically changed to that coupler. So you guys can play around with it, but this is basically the easiest way I can explain to you how to generate couplers quickly, and also with regards to the other splices that you can create. So guys, I do hope this video helps, and it was actually 2 of my subscribers that asked me about the coupler, and the other one asked me about the splicing of the varying rebar set. So I do hope I answered your guys' questions. And once again, thank you for all your support and your comments. It does help me with creating more content for you guys. So please guys, if you want to see more content, please like and subscribe. And then I will see you guys in the next one. Cheers guys.